Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Dejisi, and in today's video I'm going to be going over 4 of the best classes in Warzone right now, and they are most definitely in the meta. So sadly, keep in mind, I don't have the Bruin unlocked. I'm not willing to go into multiplayer and unlock it, because I'm a little lazy, but that's okay. Just keep in mind that it's one of the best guns in the game right now, so if you have it, use it. Just keep that in mind while watching. And if it's your first time to my channel, welcome here. If you like to see tips and tricks, class setups, and exciting gameplay for games like Warzone, Apex Legends, Overwatch, and more, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything like that. So now let's get into the main portion of the video. I'm going to start with 4 of the main classes that I use, and I'm going to go through them rather quickly because most of you have probably already seen them before. That's okay. I'm going to go through the attachments. You could take a screenshot, pause, whatever. But the first 4 are going to look pretty similar. However, after that, I'm going to give you 2 bonus class setups that I like to use a lot. I don't see them as much. I've seen a few people use them on YouTube, but they're really fun classes, and they can make for some exciting gameplay when you're bored of using the same gun over and over again. But they're still really powerful, so if you would like to see those, be sure to stick around till the end, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so here's the first class setup. We're going to be using the Ram 7 with the HDR. The Ram 7 is a great short to medium range option. It has a fast fire rate, and if you can control that recoil, especially at medium range, it's going to melt. So I'll show you the attachments here. I'm running tactical suppressor. I don't have the monolithic unlocked yet, but when I do, I'll be putting that on. But in place of the monolithic, if you don't have it, the tactical suppressor is a good option. And I run suppressors on pretty much every single one of my guns. So we also use the Forged Tac Eclipse. I believe there's a longer barrel that comes after this. So if you have that, I would use the longer one. But this one adds some damage range and bullet velocity. The only con is aim down sight speed, but that's okay because it has great hip fire still at really close range. So you don't have to be as worried about that. I also run the ultralight hollow stock. That's going to improve your aim walking movement speed. Again, I believe there's a aim down sight speed one, but I don't have that unlocked yet. I'm going to be using 50 round mags because the base mags, most of the time in Warzone you're going to want a bigger mag. That's just kind of a rule of thumb for any gun. So I use the 50 round mags. That's the only one that's unlocked for the Ram. And then for the underbarrel, I use Merc foregrip just to control that recoil, and then hipfire accuracy helps as well. So there's that first one, the Ram, and then I run it with the HDR. So obviously that's going to be my long-range sniper gun. On that one, we run monolithic. Like I said, we use that on pretty much every gun. 26.9-inch HDR Pro barrel. That's going to increase your damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control. It's really going to slow down your aim down sight speed, but that's not a big deal in Warzone if you're sniping, because most of the time you're going to be using it at pretty long ranges. I use the variable zoom just because, like I said, you're using it at long ranges. You want to be able to zoom in and zoom out, because sometimes they're going to be further away. That's why I don't use the base scope, but that's really up to preference. If you like the base scope, use that. If you like thermals, you can use that, or this thermal sniper. I really don't like thermals, so I never use them, but if you do, go ahead and use that. For the ammunition, I use a 7 round mag. You can use a 9. 5 is fine for probably duos or solos, but most of the time I'm playing 3s or quads, so I like to have a little bit of a bigger mag just so I don't have to stop to reload in the middle of a gunfight. And then this last perk, you don't have to use this. I just recently started using it. It's focus. It's going to be flinch resistance, so when you're aiming down sights, you get shot once. You're not going to be aiming at the sky as much. You can also use a stock that helps you with aim down sight speed. That would be the FTAC Stalker Scout. That's a good option as well. Alright, that's it for the first class setup. Just real quick, the perks, lethals and tacticals, they're going to be the same for every single class except for my fully loaded class, which you'll see later. I use fully loaded in Ghost instead of Overkill, and I take off one of the attachments off one of my guns. But that's the first class setup. Here's the second one. Now this one's going to be extremely powerful. The FAL right now is completely broken. You know, you're going to be using it more close range and medium range rather than long range, which doesn't make sense. But if you've seen anything else on YouTube, you know that the FAL is insanely overpowered. Again, I don't have monolithic unlocked quite yet. I'm 2 levels away, so by the time this video goes live, I'll probably have that. But so I use tactical suppressor. It's a great option if you don't have monolithic. I use the XRK marksman barrel. That's going to increase your damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control. You know, that's going to be mainly the thing you do in Warzone when you're not running, you know, an SMG or something like that. But this just helps for those medium engagements, you know, do a little bit more damage. And then I use no stock, which is going to increase your movement speed and aim down sight speed by a lot. So like I said, we're going to be using it close range, so that's going to be really important for this gun. Same thing with the stippled grip tape, aim down sight speed, and the sprint to fire speed's the big thing, because when you're, you know, if you're close and you're sprinting, you're rushing, you want to be able to get that gun up real quick. Then the commando foregrip, that's going to help with recoil stabilization and aiming stability. You can also use the Merc foregrip if you prefer. I just like the commando better. So there's the FAL, same thing on the HDR, I'm using the same exact attachments, so there's that, and then same perks, same lethal, same tactical. But this class is really powerful. On to the next one. This is going to be one I use quite a bit. It's probably one of my favorites when I'm really trying, but first I use the MP5. Here I use the monolithic integral suppressor. This is going to help with that sound suppression and the bullet velocity, which is great because usually when you put on a suppressor, it's going to decrease the bullet velocity, but this helps a lot. The only downside is aim down sight speed, but that's okay because I use this gun mainly to hip fire, which if you watch any of my other videos, I think I used it in one of my older videos, but I'll be using it in the future for sure. You can see that in firsthand. So use the monolithic integral suppressor. I use the 5mm laser. That's going to help your hip fire accuracy, like I said, and sprint to fire speed. So that's super helpful. And like it says right there, only for the aggressive, and you know how we play. For the stock, I use the FTAC collapsible stock. That's going to help movement speed, aim down sight speed. And if you know, in the last update, they kind of nerfed this. They made it a little bit harder to control when you're using this stock on some of the guns. But that's okay because I only use it for extremely close ranges, and it kind of needed the nerf anyways. Like I said, bigger mags, 45 round mags. That's going to help you possibly clear out 2 or 3 people with 1 mag rather than 1 or 2 people. So that helps a lot. You're going to want to use that anytime you're using SMG. And then finally the Merc foregrip. That's going to help with your recoil control, hip fire accuracy. I like it better on the MP5 than the Commando, but mainly because of the hip fire accuracy. So there's my MP5. And then here's my favorite gun in the game right now, the Kilo. I'll show you what I use on that. And that's going to be more of your long range gun. It's just a laser at long range. You really got to try it if you haven't yet. So on the muzzle, monolithic suppressor, like I said, every gun that you can put it on, pretty much put it on. The barrel, Singard arms, 19.8 inch. That's the longest one. It's really going to help damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, all that. So you're going to want to use that because this gun is amazing at medium to long range. For the optic, that's personal preference, but I love the VLK 3x optic. When you're looking through it, you can see a lot around you. You know, it's not real restricting on the sight line, and it has just a tiny little reticle, and it's 3 times magnified, which isn't that much, but it does help me for those medium to long range engagements. But if you want to use something else, you can use like a mini reflex or holographic sight or whatever you like. Same thing, bigger mags. I use the 60 rounds. You can use 50 if you prefer, a little bit faster with it, but I mean, I use it at medium to long range, so I don't care about that speed. I don't know if I would recommend the 100 round drums though, because you're going to be a lot slower. And then same thing, commando foregrip on the underbarrel. That's just going to help with the recoil a little bit. So there's the Kilo, my favorite gun. Same thing with the perks, lethals, and tacticals. Now on to the last class that I'll be showing you before I get into the bonus classes. This one's going to be the same thing with the FAL, just combined with the Kilo. It's the same exact attachments as the other classes, but this is going to be like the class that I use when I'm trying like really hard to go for kills or whatever. Same thing, tactical marksman, no stock, stippled, commando, blah blah blah. Same thing on the kilo, monolithic, sin guard arms, VLK optic, 60 round mags, commando. All this is the same. Right, and then just for the kilo, just keep in mind, I would do this with your favorite gun. You're going to want a class with fully loaded equipped, so I'll show you what that looks like. I just took off the underbarrel, because it's still pretty easy to control the recoil on this. So I took off the underbarrel, put on fully loaded. Late game, if you know your last loadout comes, and you just dropped from the gulag closes, you know, you can still have a chance of winning the game. So you're going to want fully loaded, which is going to give you full ammo when you grab it out of the loadout. That's just a little tip. And then I use Ghost as well, because you really want Ghost at the end of the game. Everything else is the same. And then you can pick up another gun in place of this. I just use it, you know, I don't know what else to use. Alright guys, so here's it. We're going to get into those bonus classes. Like I said, these are going to be fun classes that you can use, but they're still really good. Go ahead and give them a try. Let me know what you think in the comments down below if you do try them. But here's the first one. I use the MP5. You know, I'm actually probably going to put on the monolithic. I prefer that because it saves you an attachment spot. So, anyways, monolithic integral suppressor. Like I said on the other MP5, Merc 4 grip, 5mm laser, 45 round mags, and F-Tac collapsible. It's the same exact setup as I use for my other MP5 classes, but in this case I'm combining it with a car. I'll show you what I use on there. Monolithic, like usual, the longest barrel, variable zoom scope. I use the F-Tac Sport, it aim down sight speed, and then stipple grip tape. That's also aim down sight speed. Why I like this class so much to use for fun is this car is a very quick handling sniper. So if you never use that and you like the quick scope a little bit, give it a try. It's just fun to use sometimes. I used it in another video. It wasn't my greatest performance with it, but it was still a fun video. So go check that out on my channel. There's the car. Same thing for the perks and lethals and tacticals, blah, blah, blah. But that's an interesting combination. So go ahead and give that a try. And then here's my favorite fun class to use. You know, this M4. The M4 is still like a good gun right now. And the setup I use on it kind of makes it a short to medium range M4. I know you can kit it out and make it a long range one. But here I use monolithic suppressor, Corvus custom marksman barrel. I use no stock, so it's going to become almost like a medium range SMG at this point, because you move pretty fast with it, and you know, the aim down sight speed and all that is pretty insane. I got the 60 round mags on it, stipple grip tape, and the 60 round mags is really important for me, because you know, most SMGs you're not going to be getting a 60 round mag except for like the P90 or something like that, but this is going to outgun the P90 outside of a certain range. So, you know, just give this a try. Use it almost like you're using an SMG. Let me know what you think. I think it's really fun, but it does also, I mean, it doesn't have a grip, so it is a little bit difficult once you get to those medium ranges, but give it a try. Let me know down in the comments, you know, if you like it. And then I just combine that with my classic HDR setup, monolithic HDR, pro barrel, variable zoom, F-Tac stalker, 7 round mags. Same thing for all the perks and lethals. There you go. There's the class setups. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to try these out. And that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. If you stuck around till the end, you know, like I said, if you enjoyed the video and you want more tips, class setups, stuff like that, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find some value in this video. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one, hopefully.